There are basically 5 different process group, or in easy terms, there are 5 different phases of the project, which doesn't mean it necessarily goes one after the other, but our project management processes are defined and divided into these 5 different groups. First is the initiating process group. In this, all the processes in this group are performed to define a new project or the new phase and get the necessary authorization to start it. Next is the planning process group. In this, all the processes are to define the course of action to attain the project objective. Next is the execution process group. In this, all the processes are to perform and achieve the project objective. Now, there will be a lot of back and forth between the planning and the execution process group. You will plan something, there will be some challenges, and you will have to do some changes in your planning and again execute it. So it's very important to do the planning for any changes you have in the project, as it's important to understand the impact of the changes to different objectives and plan a proper change without deviating from the final objective of the project. Next is the close process group, where you finalize all your activity and formally close it. While doing all these things, you're also doing a monitoring and control throughout the project, and that is called as a monitoring and controlling phase process group. It's all the processes required to track, review and regulate the progress and performance of the project. And this process group starts right from the start of the project till the end of the project. Now let us try to understand the project management knowledge area, or we can call the project management aspects as defined by the standards. As we have seen, a project is a temporary endeavor with an unique outcome or a product or a result. Let's take an example of a holiday as a project, because as per the definition it fits in the project category. We all go for a holiday. We all try to have a perfect holiday, and unknowingly you follow a lot of processes which can be compared with the project management knowledge areas. So let us compare the things you do to have a perfect holiday with the project management knowledge area. First thing you do is you decide what to do on the holiday. Do you want to have a leisure holiday, or do you want to go for an adventure holiday, or you want to go to meet to your friends or relatives? So decide what all activities you want to do during these holidays. For example, if you want to go to an adventure holiday, you will decide, yes, you want to do a scuba diving, you want to do a bungee jumping, and whatever you think. So basically you decide on the scope of your holiday, and in the project management language it is nothing but the scope management. Now once you have all the activities decided, then you start scheduling this activity, including how you are going to travel, where are you going to stay, what local transport you are going to take, and you fit these activities in the number of days available with you. You make an itinerary. You decide how much time an activity is going to take. Then you prioritize your activity. You check the dependability of the activity. You check which you can perform in sequence, or which you can do it one after the do it together. And finally you make an itinerary with a timeline. And while you are on actual holiday, you have to keep a tight check on the time so that all activities are done as per the plan. So this is nothing but the time management in the project management language. You also try to put on the cost for each activity, including your stay cost, your travel cost, your food cost, your shopping budget. And while on your holiday, you keep a tight control on these costs. So this is nothing but the cost management in the project management language. Now, you have certain expectation from your holidays. You have expectation on the hotels you are going to stay in. You have expectation on the food you want to eat, expectation on the activities you are going to do. And you plan it accordingly, and you also closely monitor these expectations while you are on holiday. So in project management terms, you are doing a quality management here. Now, you also need to divide your work related to the holiday among your family or friends you are going with. Check who is good at what and make him or her responsible and accountable for the activity. For example, somebody is good at keeping the account, will do the accounting throughout the holiday. Someone good at ticketing will do the ticketing. So you will make individual responsible for the activities. That means you will assign the resources for the activities and manage them throughout the holiday. Now this is nothing but the human resource management. Next is, you need to do a lot of communication during your holiday. You have to call up at the hotel to tell them about your arrival. You have to call your taxi driver. You have to communicate between your families and friends. So manage all this communication. You decide on the tools you're going to use, like you will carry a mobile phone, or when you're going for international, you will have to have an international calling card. So you plan all your communication, and you also decide who will call whom, when to call, and what to write. Everything you decide. So basically you are doing a communication management. You also take care of what if scenarios, like if this doesn't happen, what will you do? You think of a lot of worst case scenarios and try to take necessary action so that this worst case situation doesn't happen. For example, if you know there can be a lot of traffic while going to the airport, you will start much earlier to avoid missing the flight. This is nothing but the risk management in the project management language. Now your favorite stuff, which is shopping. You plan to do a lot of shopping which are necessary for your holiday, like your clothes, your luggage, your tickets, the food you want to carry, and you try to get the best deal for all these items. You see the convenience for buying these stuffs. You plan for buying the stuff at the right time, at the right place, at the right price. So this is nothing but the procurement management in the project management language. Now, one more very important aspect of going to holiday is you need to manage all the people affected by your holiday, like your work manager, your colleagues who will get affected while you're on holiday. If you have a house help, then you need to inform them about your holiday plan. So you need to identify all these people who will get affected while you are on holiday and make sure that they are aware, or you have to make some arrangement for them so that there is no negative impact and everyone is happy. This is called as the stakeholder management. And you can't do all these activities independently. They are all dependent on each other and all have to be done in a proper synchronization to get the best result out of it. So you need to integrate all of the above aspects, and this is called as the integration management in the project management terms. So you can see that project management is nothing but a little common sense which we all know. And as a project manager, you need to do the same thing in a systematic way. The PMI PMBOK standard grouped the processes in these 10 knowledge areas. There are a total of 49 processes which you will be able to easily relate to your project. And this is very general, and you can apply these processes to almost all types of the project, be it a mechanical project or a civil project or an interior project or a software project, literally any project. So in this course, we'll be taking a knowledge area at a time and look at all the processes in that knowledge area. As a project manager, you always need to keep balance between the 4 important aspects of the project, which is the scope, time, cost, and quality. And this is represented by the project management triangle. A good balanced project will look like an equilateral triangle shown in the slide, where each side of the triangle can be represented by time, cost, and scope. And the quality is the balanced area of the triangle. Now, if your cost of the project goes high and scope and time remains the same, then you lose the balance. That means you are spending more for less scope and hence you are spending less time. And there is no proper justification to the cost spent. So it's not desirable. Similarly, if you increase the scope without adding more budget or the cost, or without adding more time to the project, then again you lose the balance and there is a direct impact on the quality. And if you're taking more time for the same cost and the same scope, again there is an imbalance and the time spent is not justified. So it's important to keep the balance between these four factors. They are so much interrelated that you cannot change anyone without giving the consideration to the other three factors. And as a project manager, your primary goal is to keep the balance of these four factors throughout the project, be it the planning or during the execution phase. So let's get started with our sessions on project management. We are going to cover all the 49 processes from the 10 knowledge area. It's going to be easy, but it's going to be vast and it's going to be very fast. But since these are all recorded sessions, you can go through it again and again or through your own pace. I'm sure you will all understand it, but to bring all of these into practice will require a lot of efforts and a systematic and strategic thinking, which will come only through by being consistent and through experience. So see you in the next session. Bye bye.